I'm going to call the meeting to order. The first item is the approval of the June minutes. Would someone make a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Board member comments?
I'd like to acknowledge that Sean Kelly is also online.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Thank you. But Mr. Buffington is not, correct? Okay. Board member comments. Let's start with Mr. Moody.
Hope everyone had a wonderful fourth, celebrating the fourth holiday, and my own comment.
Thank you. Mr. Bonfils.
Same wish, 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It's great, great 4th of July, and we have our break next month. So
Thank you, Mr. Yudd.
Same thing on 4th of July. Hope everybody had a great holiday and how great to celebrate 250 years. I've been around for a lot of those 250 years, seen a lot. So it was very remarkable to watch the festivities. Also want to say thank you to Mr. Eccles. I had a chance to watch the town hall event earlier this week and extremely professional delivery and so proud of our staff and the way everything was handled. So thanks a whole lot.
Thank you, Mr. Yudd. Mr. Campbell.
Yeah, I echo those comments and I just wish everybody a happy summer.
Thank you. Mr. Vega.
Echoing the same. Also a belated happy Father's Day to all the fathers at Loudwater.
Ellie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep, echoing everyone's comments. Happy to celebrate 250 years of independence, our wonderful country, and I wish everyone a happy summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sultan.
I echo those comments and hope that Sean gets back here one of these days soon. That's all I have.
Thank you.
He'll be
Haven't seen you in a
back.
while, Marty.
Yeah, I hope
Almost
everybody
there.
had a great fourth. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Sorry to cut you off. I wanted to thank Mr. Campbell for running the meeting for me in June. I was kind of, half in, half out, so I appreciate him stepping up. Seemed like a very smooth meeting, so I want to thank him for that. And then I hope everyone had a great fourth. And we don't meet in August, so this will be a nice time for you to be board free for a couple of months. And I want everyone to make sure they have a great summer, do some neat trip, and get out there and enjoy it. Don't forget to conserve water. We're in a drought, so I know everyone knows that, but I figured I'd toe the party line. General Manners' report.
Mr. Chair, good afternoon, everyone. A few comments for you today. Loud and Water was recently interviewed for a podcast episode on a show called Waterloop. Waterloop is a news outlet that explores solutions for sustainability in water. The episode was entitled The Water Reality in Data Center Alley and explores how Loud and Water's decades of vision and planning led to a resilient water supply system capable of serving the world's highest concentration of data centers. Jewel will provide you all a link with this tomorrow. As mentioned, Chair Randall hosted a data center town hall event at the boardroom of the Loudoun County Government Center from 7 to 9:30 p.m. this past Monday, July 6th. Chair Randall gave a presentation on the history of data centers in Loudoun County to answer the question, how did we get here? To address community concerns and to highlight the BOS's recent actions to exercise more control over the approval of data center applications in the county. The event also included almost 2 hours of public Q&A. Loudon Water was invited to attend and provide support to Chair Randall for water-related topics and questions. Al did a fantastic job of sharing the Loudon water use perspectives. Most of the conversation was focused on energy, land use, and noise. The event was well attended and included a balance of residents speaking out for and against data centers and related community issues. Staff has continued to engage with county admin in support of the county's efforts to conduct a study of Western Loudoun Town's water and sewer systems. In June, Loudoun Water provided a draft RFP for consulting firms to the county admin. County admin has since shared that draft with town leadership and is planning to schedule a review meeting in late July or early August with the goal of advertising the RFP shortly thereafter. ERCs through June totaled 1,575. And just a reminder that there are no July committee meetings and no board meeting as you are in recess. The next time you will meet is Finance Committee, Wednesday, August 26th at 8 a.m. with CIP scheduled for Thursday, August 27th at 8 a.m. That is it for me.
Thank you, Brian. Jewel, do we have anyone signed up to speak?
Yes, sir.
There we go again. Thank you. Jewel, do we have anyone signed up to speak? Motion to approve the agenda as presented. Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, board committee action. There was no finance committee meeting last month, so just a CIP, Mr. Sultan.
Yes. The first item we have is Goose Creek low-level outlet work. The Virginia Department of Conservation and Recreation required the submission of a retrofit plan to restore the low-level outlet to working condition. Staff selected GFT Infrastructure, their recommended solution. The design task order is for the engineer, GFT Infrastructure, to provide design phase services. The committee recommended the board award a design task order for this project to GFT Infrastructure for $253,700 with an approximate 5% contingency for a total authorized budget of $266,400 to be included on the board's consent agenda. The second item, award of professional services contract, Broad Run wastewater reclamation operations complex improvements and new lab. In order to accommodate the Phase 3 expansion, it will be necessary to renovate, repurpose, and expand the operations complex and construct a new lab building. After accepting proposals from 3 firms, staff selected, I don't know if you pronounce it Samaha or Samaha Associates for a professional services contract. The committee recommended the GM execute a professional services contract for the operations complex improvement and new laboratory with Samaha Associates and include on the board's consent agenda. The next item was award of the planning phase work for this project. The scope of work includes developing a detailed program, design criteria, phasing, strategy, cost estimates, and design report. The committee recommended the board award developing a planning phase work plan with Samaha for $357,650 with an approximate 5% contingency for a total authorized budget of $375,500 to be included on the board's consent agenda. The last item was award of construction contract for Broad Run Farms water main extension. This work has been requested by Loudoun County to supply water service to parcels within Broad Run Farms that are not currently served by Loudoun Water Central System and not being served by extensions being constructed by EPA. A&M Concrete Corporation was the low bidder. The committee recommended the board approve award of a construction contract, A&M Concrete Corporation, for $9,599,136 with an approximate 10% contingency for a total of $10,560,000 to be included on the board's consent agenda. The next item was award of construction administration services for this project. The committee recommended the board approve a construction administration contract to J2 Engineers for $152,500 with an approximate 10% contingency for a total authorized budget of $168,000 to be included on the board consent agenda. And the last item in the meeting was the capital spending report for May. Spending through May was 68% of forecast. And that is it.
Thank you, Mr. Sultan. I'll consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. It's all CIP.
Make the motion for the consent agenda approval.
Seconded.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we're on to the action agenda. First item on the list is the election of the board chair by John Wilburn.
This is our annual obligation to elect officers consistent with our policy in the Virginia Code. The positions up for election today are chair, vice chair, and board secretary. Process is the same as we've done in previous years. Each of those positions requires a nomination by a member of the board and a second. Once all nominations are made, then we'll vote on each of those positions individually.
Okay, nomination for board chair.
I'd like to nominate Gary Allen for board chair.
Is that seconded?
I second.
Are there any other nominations? All those in favor, I guess?
Aye.
Win
Aye.
and abstention. All right, thank you. Election of the vice chair. Are there any nominations for the vice chair?
I'd like to nominate
Mr. Campbell.
Okay.
Does anyone want to second that? Mr. Yudd, are there any other nominations for vice chair? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Election for board secretary, that is filled automatically, correct?
It requires a vote.
Okay, so I nominate,
Jewel.
okay, I second it.
I second. Oh,
He thirds it.
I third it.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
We have
That concludes.
the treasurer.
Those are the only ones that require a vote each year. The other positions are automatically renewed until you choose to change them.
You're so lucky, Brian.
I'll accept.
Well, thank you, obviously, for your support. I have one more year in my term, so I hope to serve that as consistently as I think I've served the first three. I will, congratulations, Mr. Campbell, on the vice chair. And I will say that next year at this time, we're going to need new nominations for chair and vice chair. So please keep that in mind.
I would just like to add that all three have done a damn good job.
All three, including Jewel in this.
I said three.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All right, that concludes the action agenda. A new business, none. Information items, none. Monthly reports, the finance report, Sally.
Good afternoon. I have your May financials. Quick overview here. Operating revenues are 58.1 million, which is 4.2 million above our forecast. Expenses are 72.3 million, which are below the forecast by 4.4 million. ERCs, Brian mentioned, were 1575. And then Mr. Sultan mentioned that the spend is 68% of forecast for the CIP. Are there any other questions?
Do we have any questions for the monthly financial report? Okay, thank you, Sally. Water Resource Management Report. I know Kinsey is not here and Kendra's going to fill in for that. So, but first we have Jessica Edwards-Brandt doing the Central System Water Resource Report. Jessica?
Good afternoon. All right, got the report loaded. So in a very similar situation, we were in a very similar situation in June as we were in May. So we are in watch status for the Potomac River Basin precipitation, and then also the regional drought status. And obviously the regional drought watch is still in effect. But while the river is running a little bit low, it's still hovering around the 2,000 cubic feet per second mark. So we're in a decent spot moving forward. There's just some of the data. Otherwise, Goose Creek and Beaver Dam are all looking good and ready for availability. Any questions?
Yeah, I have one. At the meeting that we had prior to the board meeting, we were talking about Fairfax Waters. Mr. Buffington had forwarded me the report that Fairfax Water was trying to make sure that the Potomac River was kept out of any Virginia water emergency. So could you, just for the edification of the rest of the board members, talk about that for a few minutes? Or 30 seconds even?
Yeah, so this is related to the like the drought declaration.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, so right, Mark's probably also a good one to answer this too. But if the governor were to declare a drought declaration, it impacts. We want the government, or the Virginia government, to understand that we act as a region. So we are the metropolitan region, and so we operate a little bit differently than the rest of the state when it comes to a drought declaration. I don't know, Mark, if you have more.
I think the one other piece to add to that is, so in Maryland, the service area of WSSC, which is Prince George and Montgomery counties, Maryland did carve those out because of what Jessica is saying. The region, the DC region acts very much like a region with sharing the Potomac River and has the regional reservoirs. And so sort of following that, you know, there is a separation, but the Commonwealth of Virginia has never carved that out, and I think, you know, wants to have a level of control there. So there's been an ongoing conversation about that for actually quite a few years. And Virginia has just sort of held on to that. So, you know, I think it's one of those things that as it continues to come up, it'll be part of the conversation. At this stage, it's never gone beyond the level of a watch, so it hasn't gone sort of past that point. So we'll continue to see. I think that conversation, particularly led by Fairfax Water, is ongoing. We just remain a little bit like many of the regional issues. We have a bit of a separation because of our program and our own storage. We have a stake in that through our Fairfax Water wholesale agreement. But so we pay very close attention to it. But I think that's, you know, most of the background there.
And then just to follow up on that, I know every year, it seems like July, we have this conversation about, because the river slows down, we talk about releasing from the reservoir. There was some probability numbers in the report. I couldn't compare them to last year, but are we in a similar situation now that we were last year and the year before, or is it this worse?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we are a little bit worse because we've just sort of been compounding the drought scenario. So we are the probabilities are slightly higher than they were at this time last year.
But when you look at the flow of, I can't remember what you said, 2000, did we have similar numbers last July, or were we slightly higher?
Of the flow?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think we were around similar number to flow at the Point of Rocks last year around this time. Yeah.
And I think we mentioned this, but, you know, again, with the reservoirs, the Jennings Randolph is the big reservoir. And if you recall, they do, there's different proportions of supply in that reservoir. And so on a daily basis, they actually release water. It's the proportion that is more of water quality releases than water supply. So even in the last couple of years, as we've dealt with some of these drought conditions, we haven't had a water supply release in quite a few years, probably over 15 years. The ICPRB staff really continues to have the models they use and look at this. As of right now, I think their most recent sort of, you know, models and indications, even with the trend of the weather that we're seeing, they don't anticipate water supply releases again this year. You know, that can change. They are watching that on a daily basis, but that's kind of the outlook at this stage.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I have a quick question on that. Is if the state was going to carve out Northern Virginia, like you described Maryland did with PG and Montgomery, is that a DEQ policy thing, or is that state legislation that has to go through the General Assembly?
A good question. I think it may have to go more to the legislative, but I don't know that. Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I think DEQ plays a huge piece, and they're the ones having the conversation, but I think it would have to get to that point to actually make a change.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions? All right, the community systems. Kendra. Thank you, Jessica.
Similar to Jessica, community systems are still in a similar status as we were last month. These are a month behind. So when you see it next month, there will be more of the darker orange coming into Loudoun County, but the rain has been sporadic, as we've all seen. And so I think the more interesting information we have, our wells are all still good. We still just have the same concern with the Salmacide wells, but they actually are seeing a little bit of rise, not enough to take them out of their watch. But we're still just in precipitation, and we've still got a precipitation debt that we're building up. And as we've mentioned from several years, but I really like this graph because it starts to show, oh yeah, there's my pointer, right? You'll see we get a big rain and it peaks up and then it gets dry again and it peaks up. But we are pretty close to on track for the year with a couple big rain events that we've had. It's just not enough to make up for the drought that we've had over the last continued several years. So I think we'll just keep watching as we get more rain.
Anyone have any questions for Kendra?
One question, Chair. Kendra, I think during one of the prior meetings, I was asking about the observations at all the other wells that Loudon Water manages, monitors. And so our monthly report, really, we're getting the indicators from the community systems listed in the chart, but there are more than that. And I just raised it again because I think as we move forward, there will be continued focus from what Brian mentioned, the coordination with the county, and then just the public at large who are groundwater dependent outside of our suburban service areas. So do you plan on folding any of that information in? Is there information to fold in?
Yes, so it is going to take a little bit more instrumentation, but we do plan to fold it in as part of the larger efforts to increase groundwater monitoring throughout Western Loudon. So we're working on it, but those wells are smaller, don't have the same online instrumentation that we do. So we're working on those plans.
I might just add the agreement with the county, the project that we're helping manage for Western Loudon was put into place and finalized last month. So we're underway now, and that's what we intend to fold into this report as soon as we can start to get our arms around and bring that data in.
I was looking at the April, May, and June for Raspberry Falls versus last April, May, and June. But it's kind of hard to figure out, but it looks like it might be, it's very similar. Yeah.
Yeah. Last year was a relatively cool year. So we are seeing just increasing temperatures coming up this year.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for the community systems other than Mr. Buffing or Mr. Yuds? All right. Thank you, Kendra. That concludes the open session. Oh, I'm sorry, with Waytrans. Sorry. Water and sewer. I'm so excited to get to the closed meeting. I apologize. Water and sewer agreements.
There's nothing to note. Everything was pretty normal last month. Nothing out of the ordinary to note. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have any questions? Thank you. Now, that concludes the open portion of the meeting. Thank you, everybody, for attending, and we'll see you in September. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Be over.
Okay. Okay. Oh, set me up.